you do that, your wife's going to say, I'm coming with. And we encourage to get the family. We are a family organization, and the younger members, we want them because my sons are in their 30s. I don't relate to that younger crowd with who have the younger kids, and we want them because we want to let this post evolve into something that's family oriented. And you need those people who have those ideas to say, hey, what if we try, or what if we do this? I'm open all the time down there when people come up and they say, hey, I got an idea. I'm like, okay, let's because that's the only way. This year is the 125th anniversary of the VFW. We are the oldest veterans organization in the world.
Wow.
We've been doing this for 125 years, and I tell every my members, I said, you need to be proud of that. I said, and we want to keep this going for another 125.
Yeah, and that's a great point, too, because, over the course of my travels across, I always see VFW posts, and you're right, they are all usually associated with 2 or 3 cars in the parking lot, same people there drinking that was drinking there the day before, and that's one issue, right? But adapting into being something more to that, I mean, that's really where it needs to kind of go in order to invite that younger crowd, because you're right, where's it going to go if that younger crowd just never goes there? Because that's not what they want anymore. Like you said, now I have a wife, I have 2 kids, like
right.
They're not going to go sit in a dark hole in the wall and drink beer all afternoon.
I was 48 when I joined, and the reason I didn't join was I said to myself, well, I'm not old, and I don't, if I'm going to go drink I'm going to go hang out with some people I know.
Yeah.
And then when I joined, finally, I said to myself, well, maybe I'm to the point I need to start contributing back to my community. And once I did that, I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm jumping in heads deep, became a life member. And I said, by that, I'm going to be on the honor guard because I'm going to see a lot of people more. And once you get to see them, you know them, and you start becoming an active member, you realize the opportunity of what you can do, your contributions can do. And this year especially, and I don't know if many people know this. I know Ed probably knows this. He's heard me yell about it. Do you know where the VFW started?
I don't.
At a bar? Well, we know that's where the Marine Corps started, right? At a bar.
The VFW started in 1899 down in Columbus, Ohio. So
No
this
kidding.
year, the national convention is going to be in Columbus, Ohio, and I said we're going to take one of my new members and we're going to drag them down there because when you go to the convention, I tell it when I get a new member and I said, see this? I point to the canteen. I said, you see this? I said, this is not the VFW. This is just a fundraiser for the post. I said, when you get out there and you start doing stuff with our organization, like today I spent the weekend up at the Piston Power Show in Cleveland. Our post was doing a raffle. We had 2 bourbon baskets and we had a flamethrower. We actually auctioned off or raffled a flamethrower.
I heard that.
Dan's head perked up when you said
Why did we not
know
end
about
up
this? I don't
at the IX Center this weekend?
And all the
at
money we raised this weekend we gave 100% of it. It's going to the Ohio Veterans Home in Sandusky.
Oh, really?
We do this every year. We pick our post picks a charity. Last year it was Fisher House, and we raise money. Not for us, because we have other fundraisers, but we do it for another charity because that's part of what we are about. We're a giving organization.
That's a great segue, actually, because I told you I had a story about VFW. So when I first got out of the military, I loaded up my U-Haul, and I had my truck I actually had a U-Haul trailer with my pickup truck, and I can't even remember where I was at. I mean, I was in the middle of nowhere driving from Fort Riley, Kansas, back to Ohio. But my transmission actually caught on fire. So, and obviously 21 years old, just getting out of the military, I didn't have enough money. I didn't have credit cards. I didn't have any of that. The VFW helped me out, man. They rented me a 26-foot box truck, the trailer to put my truck on, helped me load, switch everything over. I had a bunch of vets out there kind of helped me get it all together. And, within 12 hours, I was back on the road, and they said, you know what, don't worry about the bill. Try to help somebody out later down the road. And, at 22 years old, I'm like, wow, that was an experience. I was stuck.
You probably made their day because, when you joined the service, to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And when you get out, I think that's what a lot of vets miss. They miss that camaraderie of being part of something bigger than yourself. And some posts do it better than others, and I hope in our post we're trying to make it better every day, but we want to do something to help people. And when we get the chance to help people, I got a call yesterday or Friday. A guy said, he says, my dad was a vet. He's passed on. My mom is needing a wheelchair ramp. I said, you know what? We happen to have one that was aluminum one that was donated to us. I said, Monday I'll get a guy out there. We'll look at it and see if we can implement it, and we'll get it out to you. We've done that. We've built a couple of wheelchair ramps in the county or town of Medina for veterans. You know, we look for those opportunities because that's what we're about. We're giving back to our community, and that's we're trying to do that because it breaks that image of, you know, we're just a bunch of old guys.
It would be nice if there'd be a way for the other people in the city to hear about that instead of someone personally knowing you. And I think that's kind of what you're leaning towards, of how to kind of get the word out there more.
Yeah, and
That would be a really nice thing, you know.
Yes.
Other veterans that need something like that, and you're able to help, but they don't go to the bar. They don't really know that.
Well, this is a great scenario too. We're talking about this way of helping somebody or that way of helping somebody. These two organizations that are right here in Medina County. But this is obviously something that's duplicated across the entire United States. It's not just local to here. But how do we get that word out there? And hopefully, you know, this starts to gain some traction and does that for you. But that inner referral of like, oh, I know a guy for this, or that's for this, or yeah, we'd love to help you do this, and how to, you know, go out and reach out and ask people. I think, you know, with social media and so much stuff out there nowadays, it's at that point in time where it really should be growing substantially so that people understand these two communities. And like I said, we talked about it just again a minute ago, the camaraderie that we still have with people that we served with 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago plus, that's not just a few select veterans. That's essentially every veteran that you come across has those relationships that they still cherish, you know. And who wouldn't want that in their own backyard? So it's good to hear that these things are out there, and hopefully this helps get the word out there.